G'day viewers, well, I picked up this semi-crushed up Kelvinator condensing unit from the 70s. Good old blue Kelvinator. I've taken the compressor and the fan, the condenser off it. It's for some repairs. I've got the starting device from the compressor which has been shagged. It's completely buggered, doesn't work. It's a 1/3 horsepower compressor. It electrically it's completely fine, but it's stone cold seized. I cannot get it to free up at all. It's seized up. So I guess in the process of grinding off the welds, so I can open it up and free it up and repair it. I'm grinding it in the way so I can weld it back together easily. That's the oil that was left in the compressor and came out of it. Isn't too bad, so smells good. Like vintage compressor oil. Yeah, if you're into vintage compressors and refrigeration, the vintage fridge compressors have a distinct smell for the oil. No, it's got like a vintage smell. Mineral oil, that is. By the way, that's the fan. I've repaired it. It's a Brinsmead fan. Brinsmead were a pretty major fan manufacturer in Australia back in the day. Nowadays it's EBM Paps, and they make some nice quality fan motors. They are leading manufacturer of condenser fans. Fix the blades up. That's a shroud from the fan. I've straightened it out. There's a bloody hiccups. Condenser, I was diagonally bent. I've straightened it out, fixed the leaks. Still has good flow, just like the dents. There's a leak in here somewhere. One of these has a slow leak in it, but I'm going to mitigate all that and there's hiccups. Repair all that and I can yeah, well, there's only the condenser unit, that's all it was, nothing else was there. It's just a condenser unit which is upside down being run over by an excavator. I got it from a scrap metal place, or a scrap metal place, so I can take that now, have it, so cool. Because yeah, bulletproof these old units, especially these old Tecumseh compressors. There's a bulletproof. It's yeah, 1/3 horsepower, but see I'm grinding it. It'll make a nice flat edge, so I can rod it back together easily. Got some protection because I jumped and nicked the pipe. Try not to do that. I can fix it with a brace anyway. That'll go on there to protect it. But I like how they use that blue paint the Kelvinator used. Every compressor's just black. That's just so boring, isn't it? In the old days, they had all sorts of colours. Yeah, the motor inside there is completely fine. I've got a Supco universal starting device. Looking at it, this has been cycling for a long time. You see yeah, a bit discolorated there. The contacts are a bit shot in there. It's been cycling whenever it was in service last, so it must have just somehow just seized up or something. But then I said there's plenty of oil on it. It's just got one of these locally off eBay. These are good. This is good for 1/2 horsepower. So I'm just going to use that to run the compressor. That'll also run antique compressors too. If you're going to use something like that permanently, get the correct rated one for your compressor, so you don't, burn the compressor out. Picked up an email compressor. I've always been after these mid to late, or these would have been produced from the probably from the late 70s to the late 80s, or to the mid 80s. It's an email Westinghouse compressor made in Orange, New South Wales. The Westinghouse fridges back in the mid to late 80s, or probably the early to mid 80s, would have had these their own compressors. So this one here just came from a normal domestic fridge, which was beyond gone. It came from a local appliance repair shop, which is owned by a bloke He's retired now. He's the bloke I got to repair my Kelvinator. But yeah, he's got a lot of old features at that shop too, which they got his eye on him. His son-in-law runs that business now, but yeah, it's I grabbed this. Yeah, take it. So cool. I've always been after these compressors. They're unique. Being Aussie made, the name tags there, Email Westinghouse, and this is made by Email Proprietary Limited for Westinghouse in Australia. It was a bit rusty, the paint was gone, so I fixed all that. It works quite well. Clicks and starting gear. The terminal box is made by Texas Instruments. This heatsink is a good idea, actually. Unusual, but a good idea. But I've vacuumed it down and I just purged in some difluoroethane in there. Quite unique. But these would have been the last Australian-made compressors. These and these Tecumsehs. I think these were probably made later. These would have been the end of the era when Australia made fridge compressors domestically. Then they went to these Singaporean-made Panasonic compressors. I do like these. They're actually built quite well. Some would have had the earlier square, bigger Japanese ones, but these Singaporean-made ones replaced the Japanese-made Panasonic compressors. But yeah, quite useful. Anyway, let's continue grinding apart this Tecumseh compressor so I can have a look inside and free it up. You know, free it up and get it cleaned up and free it up and get it going again. And the fun part is only welding it. I don't have a welding lathe. You have like a thing that goes there and there, and it spins slowly. Bloody hiccups. You just get a stick with it, just hold it. But I think I can MIG weld it pretty good. You just tack it here and to hold it in place, so you just carefully do it bit by bit. I did practice a little bit, did a bit that wide, and then MIG welded it back, and it looked pretty good. Good practice. But yeah, since the motor's good, I'm going to repair that. Okay viewers, I got the part. I literally just went like this, ting, like yanked like that, like this first, and then like the bit stuck in it, ripped it like that with my thumb, and sure enough it freed up. Look at that, easily turns, wasn't even that stuck. All this muck on here. Ugh. What is that? Must have been reacted with a WD-40. I'm going to have to run some brazing over this. Bugger. That's not a big deal though. There's your suction pipe in here. That spins. Where does it get its pump from? So basically the oil level's about here. Probably flush with here. Inside there is a little oil pump in this compressor. That's just scraping on here. As you can see, as that spins, there's a pump in there which screws up the oil, spits it out and throws it around everywhere. A little piston there, the two-piece bearing assembly, and it's locked together with a retaining clip that holds those nuts from coming undone and throwing a rod. Nice build quality, these Tecumseh compressors. Turns very easily now. The motor windings are pretty good, not smoked or anything. Not even smell a slightest bit burnt, just smells of WD-40. Look at that, oh, it looks like I was expecting more crap in there. I'm not sure what this stuff is though. I wonder if that's just WD-40 that reacted with it. It protected everything, the WD-40. I wonder if that actually, yeah, because from when I rocked this initially, Okay, she seized on the piston. That's what it felt like. It didn't take much of an effort to break it free. I reckon a WD-40 had something to do with it. Because up until about yesterday, I was shaking it to get the oil flushed and WD-40 flushed in there. Using that capacitor starter. Gave it a couple of kick starts. I was like, no, it's still not freeing up. I would have had to get into a last resort and get a start winding of a single phase motor. And use that to boost, like a rotary phase converter, double the mains voltage, briefly kick it for a bit to free it up. No, I'll cut it open and free it up. I've got nothing to lose anyway. So now that I've got it freed up, I'm going to clean it, run it, and I'm going to free it up and clean it right up, get it really clean, and then I'm going to weld it back together. And yeah, and I put it in. It would be good to go back and service again. Another thing I like about old compressors, that's quite a thick steel plate. That's about 3mm thick. Wow, heavy too. Unlike the pieces of garbage you get from China nowadays, it's just a Coke tin or a little pissy plastic little motor and pump in it. One thing I like about old compressors, are really well made. Something like this from China, you can poke a hole in it with your finger if you poke it hard enough. Just rubbish. Pretty much as big as compressors get. The whole thing would fit in your hand. And that replaces the duty what one of these in a domestic fridge would do back in the day. You can get that little one there for the Chinese, like you fit it in your hand like that and hold it in the palm of your hand. This thing does the same thing and a bit more, and it's built to last. These sorts of compressors, you can turn them into engines and they still won't blow up. Amazing how good they were back then. Anyway, let's get this earth wire on. We'll give it tested. Yeah, it's pretty simple to hook up. Common, black, white is your start, red's your run, power in there and there, and don't forget the earth, that's important, the earth. Pretty simple to hook up. Did some aims checks, file where start, run and common were. So let's power it up. It wasn't really stuck as much as I thought it was going to be initially though. It needs more of a kick. No, she don't want to turn. Maybe the start winding on this motor's tired then. I guess the start winding on that motor's tired. Okay. It's tired start winding. Okay then, maybe that motor's just tired. That's bizarre. That is extremely bizarre. This week's starting winding. I've never come across that in the fridge compressor. The bloody start winding's tired. That is unreal. That is really unreal. The start winding's tired. Okay. Never come across that. Pretty sure it's the right way around. Maybe I swapped the red and the white wire around. See what that does. I don't think this will do anything, but we'll try it. There is an overload and everything in this too, so it should be right. It shouldn't be a problem. This isn't an RCD too, it's a protected circuit, so maybe that's the wrong way around. Maybe I've just done myself a mischief and didn't get my starting line the right way around. I don't know. Ah! Well, I'll be a daft numpty then. No, it's run and start, not start and run. Ah, what a retard. Oh dear. I had the start and the run pins the wrong way around on that all this time. Oh well, I didn't really have to cut it open then. That was a waste of time. But in saying that though, I'm going to clean it and flush it anyway because there's a lot of crap in this bloody thing. Ah. What a mess it made, jeez. I didn't have to cut this open at once, didn't have to cut it open after all. I just went by what that was and I traced it out on that, but turns out I was wrong. Oh well, even the best of us get it wrong sometimes. What I was doing there is using the run winding as a start winding. So it's run on this side, start on that side. This is one of those compressors. That's normally its common. Start on this side, run on that one? No. We're not daft enough there. I've got the start and run winding pins confused all the way from the beginning. And this thing probably would never have to have been cut open. But for the sake of the video, nope. Still piss weak, isn't it? That is still piss weak. What is going on with that? I just stopped up a block on the output. That's good for up to half horsepower to run that motor. That shouldn't have stopped that easily. I've done that before, blocking it off totally, and the motor still had plenty of grunt in it. Even with these old compressors, these Panasonic ones, this is only a smaller motor, and I can block that off and it'll hold that pressure and still run at full whack. That's bizarre. WD-40. That shouldn't have stalled like that. Oh, that's deceiving. Maybe this motor's just tired. I don't know how that's possible though. I don't see how it is actually possible at all. Yeah, I don't see how that's possible. Half horsepower, that's what it's good for, up to half horsepower. This is a 1/3 horsepower motor. That shouldn't stall. So I'll put that in the service and it builds pressure up. It's just going to work. As that, that'll build up some reasonable pressure and work. But if it tries to start and the thermostat's not kicking it out, or the overload's not kicking it out, that'll sit there and stall. So I've got to obviously get the correct overload ready for this motor. And that'll be fine. But if that stalls easier before the overload cuts out, that's a bit of a problem. Maybe I'll just clean this out so the moisture doesn't wreck it, and put a glass or perspex front on it and seal it up and have it sealed so I can display it. If finally I can get a good bit of glass on that and have it working in a system, that'd be cool. Good old Tecumseh. As I said, it's off this one of these commercial Kelvinator units. Would have been off of the 4 load amps is 4. This would have been off a small walk-in cool room or a Williams display fridge, drinks fridge or something like that. Hard to guess, it's probably come off a small walk-in cool room. These were pretty common in the 70s. Yeah, this is an Aussie-made compressor, but based on a Tecumseh American design. This is what we call Pancake compressors. Nice concept having it like that, because it's narrow. It takes up and fits in a small little gap, rather than something big and round. Nice form factor. There's your accumulators. Plays nice music. Little bit of rubber there, which is perished and gone hard. Anyway, I don't know why it stalls so damn easily though. That's bizarre. Whoa! WD-40 myself. That's knocking right out again. That's a valve making that noise. Now I can't start it. What is going on? Must be a dead spot. Maybe it's a dead pole. No. No, it's just not starting. No, there is something wrong with that motor. Not getting hot. It opened up alright. That motor's just tired, I think. For whatever reason, that motor's just tired. I've never come across that. I mean, even these old antique compressors, these old Kirby's, they just go and go and go. I wonder if this has actually got aluminium windings. I wonder if there's aluminium and not copper. Maybe. Electrosucks did that. I wonder if there are aluminium windings in. Because I've had a wash machine motor with aluminium windings, and sure enough, it got tired, wouldn't start. Maybe there's a... it could be copper bit, I don't know. Yeah, possibly a copper bit. Why would this motor be just tired, just like that out of the blue? I don't know why it's tired. 7342. I wonder if that's a year. 1973, 42nd week. Possibly. There's we're from that era. There's Pancakes. 6318 KA5. That's just bizarre why it's so tired. Oh well. Guess the compressor's just tired, I suppose. No, won't start. Bizarre, that's bizarre. Anyway, viewers, that'll be enough for now. Thanks for watching.